Hi guys, Randall here. A couple of days ago, maybe a week, I purchased a graphic novel because it was on clearance called the Neonomicon. The story is by Alan Moore. The art is by Jacen Burrows. I read the first chapter. It's amazing. What I wanted to do was read just through the narration with a few changes to kind of move the story along so you don't get lost, because it's really well written and it reminds me of Max Payne. Basic story is where I'm at right now. Is this detective is in Brooklyn and he's investigating a drug smuggling, child smuggling ring type of thing, and he has this cool skill that he calls anomaly theory. I just think it's really well done, so I want to read the narration for you guys. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the narration. So this is the Neonomicon, Chapter 1. 2004, Farrakhan Day. Clinton Street, down in Red Hook, is striped with cobalt. Tens of thousands of fireworks explode in Brooklyn. The residents have been petitioning almost 10 years for a name change since our chief executive fucked up Syria in 95. Tens of thousands of fireworks over Damascus. Our rooming house has a shared bathroom. This morning, when I went to shave, there was shit in the sink. When I turned on the water to swish it away, I discovered it was also in the faucets. Jermaine, the schizophrenic in the next room, with only a hardboard partition dividing us, we're getting horribly close to full cohabitation. She's 35. Hippie parents. Jermaine. Jesus Christ. They probably ran the poor thing through a gauntlet of crank-educated fads, taught her drugs and free love were okay, then divorced. Fine for them. They're not woken by Jermaine's imaginary pals every morning at 5. My feelings concerning Jermaine's mom and pop are exactly the same as I had for the daughter while shaving. I just wish these people would clean up their own shit once in a while. I can hear the people outside partying from under the Harlem Dome. Even from here, slabs of bass shuddered out down through the river. They mix with distant ambulance sirens and shimmering science fiction voluntaries. Is it just me who finds sirens beautiful? Miserable, Wagnerian divas, threatening fire and plague or murder. Just over the street, there's a rundown pachinko arcade where the neighborhood's flack dealer juggles his junk. I catch this on the nanocam wadded in gum on my roof's window ledge. Did I mention already that I'm a Fed? What I'm bothered about is the depth of cover on this. Only Perlman in Washington knows I'm here. Carl Perlman's an asshole. I'm running on black time here. Black time's not good for me pension-wise. Perlman wanted me here for a reason. It's not that he likes me. He told Ed Byrne I was a smuggling Nazi. It's just that I have high abstract patterning skills, so I get all the Twilight Zone jobs. What I do is anomaly theory. I go through the evidence carefully, winnowing out the most troublesome details. Obscure little fragments that don't fit our profiles and thus get overlooked. Right now, I look at the photographs. All 15 are identical. Now here's the pisser. We pulled in a 20-year-old bookstore clerk from Seattle. His brother-in-law found 12 human hands individually wrapped in a freezer and summoned the bureau. The clerk coughs up for 6 murders, no question. We naturally figured that with distinctive M.O., we could get him to cop for the other 9 sooner or later, but no, he insisted he'd only done 6. It was here we begin to encounter problems. First was this wino we picked up for vagrancy. Turns out he was carrying 3 heads in a Kmart bag. Just like Confused in Seattle, he owned up to 3 crimes. Only 3. We assumed it was some copycat thing, but it turned out that the murder details were kept from the press. Furthermore, neither man knew the other. It's all some unlikely coincidence, right? Of the 6 unattributed victims left, 4 related. A grandma, mother, and father, and their 9-year-old daughter. The surviving son has suddenly moved to confess that he whacked the whole bunch. Kept their thumbs as mementos. 3 culprits for 13 identical murders with 2 further killings as yet unaccounted for. No direct links between the accused. Is that fucked or what? Here's where I come in. Anomaly theory. 2 serial killings, 1 multiple murder. The family job. 3 white males, age 15, 20, and 38. One's a vagrant, 1 works at a bookstore, and 1's still in school. No connections. Stephen, the 15-year-old who dismembered his folks and sis and grandma, is bright and likes classical music, but there's only 1 rock album in his extensive collection, the Althar Cats. Noisy, obscure New York art type. They suck. He also writes songs on his guitar, then does this god-awful scat singing over the top. Not my taste. Confused in Seattle. He doesn't like music at all. He just reads, mostly old horror paperbacks, Poe and stuff like that. Tucked halfway through a book, you'll find this old ticket. It says Club Zothique. Uses a bookmark. Confused has a spelling disorder. He writes stuff, short stories, but half of the words are just gibberish. Judging by earlier work, which is lucid, this trend is a recent thing. Our wino boy can't read and hates music, but unlike the other 2, he is using drugs. Mild ones, admittedly. We found a baggie of something called DMT-7 concealed in his rectum. A weak hallucinogen. He'd have gotten higher on Ripple. Roy makes terrible sounds in his sleep, but what else is fresh? Brooklyn's bulging with noise in the streets outside. People are kissing and fighting, fucking each other up. So, there's a noisy album, owned by a kid with a strong predilection for Mahler. A club ticket, found on a bookworm who never goes out. A confirmed alcoholic with happy dust jammed up his ass. That's anomaly theory. The next part is largely intuitive. Having selected your set of anomalous facts, you will find new connections arising which, in my experience, often yield data more useful than that gained through orthodox means. Club Zothique, for example, is here in the Red Hook district. It's a new music hangout. The Althar Cats seem to be playing there every couple of weeks, including tonight. All the kids there do drugs, mostly speed, weed, and flack, but there's something else too. Something they call the white powder. Scored a few grams from a 7-foot spade. The scanalysis says that it's DMT-7. Not much of a drug, as drugs go. In the natural form, DMT is produced in the brain, which therefore has a natural system to cope with the substance and flush it away. The mild trips last about 15 minutes. See, what this is, it's like taking leftover pieces from various jigsaws and seeing what picture they make when you put them together. Anomaly theory. Of course, it's not saying the picture always makes sense. Club Zothique. A strange neon cancer grown out from a crumbling stone of a waterfront church. A cheap dance hall and immigrant dive since the late 1920s. A toxic and lurid hangout of light bulbs enduring for centuries. I plunge into an amphetamine field of concussive music and light full of underage heat. A support band from Cleveland, the Yellow Sign, are wrapping up their set. A cacophonous set I make for the bar. Joey Face. Joey's probably my age, which is to say 30. I've known him a week. He used to deal ecstasy, but it's agony now. Joey suffers from amphetamine psychosis. He drinks without getting drunk to keep the hallucinations at bay. It's too bad. I'm informed he was once a great dancer. Joey told me about some drug named Aclo. He said the music in this place doesn't make sense unless you're on it. Aclo. Some kind of drug or a street name. Scattered applause from their girlfriends and pets. The support band goes off. And the Althar Cats slouch on stage. The floor is engulfed with a riptide of puberty casualties as they start making animal noises. It's fucking grotesque. If I remember the CD correctly, the lead singer's name is Randolph Carter. Like I said, not my taste. Guess Randolph took Aclo before she came on. Its effects last the rest of an hour-long set. Even chat between songs is gibberish. Audience reaction seems favorable. Unbelievably, some even sing along on the ones they recognize. Stephen, the 15-year-old who beheaded his family, scat singing nonsense words over the tunes that he'd written. Confused of Seattle with the unintelligible tales of horror. Our wino Roy, dribbling and reeking salivary patina all over his chin. Joey tells me where I can score some Aklo. A guy named Johnny Carcosa. Then he exits the bar. Halfway through the Miskatonic, he quite understandably doesn't return. As the show ends, I brave the meat pinball machine Club Zothique has become, nudged and shouldered from bumper to bumper. I'm looking for someone. I find the guy I'm looking for, Johnny Carcosa. He gives me a ring from some place named Innsmouth. Gives me an address to meet him at 3 o'clock. When he speaks, though you can't see his lips, a faint ripple of breath stirs the sheer lemon film on his veil. I must look like a fed in this crowd of 14-year-olds. Up close, Johnny Carcosa could be anywhere between 20 and 50. His acne tracks, plastic surgery scars. His voice, genderless, ageless. He turns and walks away. I'm dismissed. It's just 1 o'clock now. Farrakhan Day was over at midnight. The indigo facade silenced abruptly. I walk back uphill and along Clinton Street to the one public fax booth that hasn't been pissed in or firebombed. Outside Borough Hall, I dial Perlman in Washington. He won't be there, but my access code punches me through to his bulletin board where my round-the-clock update is posted. I enter the booth's number, and through pursed lips it disgorges a reel roughly 8 pages long, which I roll up and fit in my overcoat. I hear a faint hiss from the dome above me. It's raining. The update contains 3 items, including a brief note from Perlman. The next item is an account of child smuggling here in Red Hook. A Detective Malone of the NYPD named the Waterfront Church, now Club Zothique, on being involved. That was in 25. There was seemingly talk at one point of some Satanist thing, but the chief suspect, one Robert Sidham, expired before charges were brought. 24 cops died when the house they were raiding collapsed. The last printout concerns FBI operations up in Massachusetts around 2 years later, 27 to 28. The connections appeared to be Sidham. Shortly before his demise, he ordered ritual artifacts from a remote gold refinery in some backwater seaport of Massachusetts. The town's name is blacked out, classified obviously. The offense seems vaguely defined and involves interbreeding, a morals case more than a federal matter in my book. The document grows more evasive with each line, but there were lots of arrests. But for what is unclear, there's no charges, no trials. The description degenerate frequently used here could mean almost anything. These were the Hoover days. And there's good old J. Edgar himself, where, oh, I get it. This must be the classified seaport. What the hell is that?